royalty or not, you can't come to Jamaica and expect to escape without winding your waist.
The warmth of reception that we've received has been utterly amazing.
And whether it's dancing in the backyard of a youth centre or touring the wards of a children's hospital, it's clear how easily Harry responds to the young and they to him.
What I think is he's often said he is a bit of a child himself. His words, not mine. And I think he can play at their level and understand what's kind of going on in their heads. And as I say, you know, pick up a ball or just, you know, flick or stick his tongue out or whatever it might be. He's just, you know, the way he engages is great.
Children are at the centre of Prince Harry's charity, Sentebale, which he set up in Lesotho in 2006. The mountain kingdom in southern Africa made a deep impression on Harry when he spent 2 months there during a gap year after finishing school.
Then it was a case of, right, I want to go somewhere where there's an AIDS problem, centred in Africa, somewhere where, you know, no one really knows about. And Lesotho was mentioned. I was like, never really heard of that place. Let's try it out. And since then, it's just, you know, it's been sort of love at first sight.
Lesotho has one of the highest rates of HIV/AIDS infection in the world. The charity seeks to look after children orphaned by the disease. AIDS has also led to the rise of a terrible myth here, that sex with young children can cure sufferers of the disease. Prince Harry is spared none of the reality, listening intently.
I would say sexual abuse is happening to children, like the court case that I went to this morning. It is still happening.
It's just going to take time. You can't expect, you know, to see changes in 3 years, even though, as far as I'm concerned, come, you know, 2 or 3 times a year whenever I can out of the army. And the changes that I see are fantastic. And mainly the changes you see are within the children.
Sentebale actually means forget-me-not. It's a memory of his mother. It's his first organisation that he has driven very hard to establish. I think he's very contemplative, and certainly spending time with him in Africa, you can see him really, really thinking about things. And I mean, thinking about them both cerebrally, but also very much in his heart. He's very clear about what he wants to achieve, and he just, you know, makes sure that Sentebale is on its way to doing that.
One goal Harry is desperately keen to achieve is to serve again in Afghanistan. Earlier this year, he completed his training as an Apache helicopter pilot. If Harry is deployed again, it's not expected to be done in secret. The palace doesn't believe he'll need extra security. Flying attack helicopters means Harry will be largely anonymous. The Apache is certainly a target for Taliban fighters, but crucially, Harry's presence will not heighten the risk to anyone else. So Britain's royal family now has 2 of its most senior members flying helicopters in the armed forces. The relationship between the 2 princes is extremely close. Royal sources describe it as a double act set to last the rest of their lives.
Bearing in mind I cook him and feed him basically every day, I think he's done rather well.
Well, it's the army, we work harder, so you know, we haven't got much time.
Or gag, move on. Being a far superior RAF pilot, I've now moved on to the Griffin. And RAF pilots obviously as well. You got off the ground yet?
Just got off the ground, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. It's not obvious that he's growing old, is it? Baldness. Sorry?
When you flying solo?
Pretty rich coming from a ginger, so I'm quite happy to tell him. He's just very modest about it, but he's doing very well. Yeah. I just said something nice, you can say something nice.
He's great.
At the end of the day though,
I don't think anyone really within the royal household sees Prince Harry as, you know, the spare heir. They are, you know, when they do things together, it has huge impact, whether it's an overseas tour to Africa, or whether I think when you see them coming together for things like the royal wedding, we'll see them together at the Jubilee this year. I think they have so much more impact together, and they're aware of that, and they use that.
The arrival of the Duchess of Cambridge into the family has served only to strengthen those bonds. In fact, Harry gets on so well with Kate, he's described her as his sister rather than sister-in-law. And in the course of making this programme, CNN discovered that Harry has now moved into an apartment at Kensington Palace, where William and Kate have already set up home. The two brothers wanted to be together, we're told, something Harry has talked about in the past.
Despite me having sort of maybe potentially a slightly easier sort of track, that I mustn't forget that his life is going to be a lot harder and more demanding, and that I need to be there for him whenever he needs me.
Royal sources say Harry would never see himself as a statesman. And yet that's exactly what the Queen asked him to be when she sent him to the Caribbean. In Jamaica, as on the rest of the trip, he does it his way.
Her Majesty has asked me to extend her great good wishes to you all, and is sorry that she can't be here, so you're stuck with me. But don't worry, because every little thing is going to be all right.
Meeting the Prime Minister, Portia Simpson-Miller, who talked publicly a few weeks earlier about Jamaica becoming a republic, Harry diffuses any possible embarrassment by suggesting a hug.
You ended up hugging a Jamaican Prime Minister.
She hugged me. She did ask, and she loves hugs because she hugged my father as well.
By the end of the day, this unorthodox 27-year-old statesman is feeling comfortable enough to gently flirt with the Prime Minister.
My date for tonight.
As the trip comes to an end, the word from home is that the Queen is very proud of what Harry has achieved on this, his first trip representing Her Majesty overseas. It's likely nothing, not even serving with his regiment abroad, will please the soldier prince more than to know he's done well by the Queen.
I've had an amazing time. I've had a gas. I just hope my grandmother's proud of what we've done.